The end of the year brings guests and cold weather. And when they come into your house, you're going to want to welcome them with a warming nibble. So today on Spectrum's Easy Gourmet Cooking, we are roasting our way to snack time 2 ways. Let's get to it. All right, friends, today we are roasting 2 ways, slow and low and high and fast. On the slow side, I'm making a slow roasted onion dip, and on the fast side, we are burnishing some cauliflower. It's going to get nice and golden and crisp. Perfect for snack time. Let's talk about that slow onion dip. Get your oven set to 250 degrees, and I want you to chop up the following list. 2 red onions, 1 small head of celery root, and if you've never used this before, now is the time. It's so fragrant. It's celery times 10. Cut up 1 yellow lemon, 1 head of garlic, and 1 pint of cherry tomatoes. These can all be cut pretty roughly. Nothing needs to be fine because at the end of the day, it's all going in a food processor. Onions are pretty easy, but let's talk about that celery root. What do you do with this? Sometimes you may buy it and it still has celery. Save that. Roast that. It's delicious. It's celery. Cut off the top, cut off the bottom, and then with your knife, now that you've got a stable bottom, just cut around the side. This is the easiest way to peel it. Now what we have here, we're just going to cut into strips. Next up, a lemon. Cut it into quarters. Throw it right on the tray, peel, seeds and all. That garlic. Separate those cloves, and then with the flat of your knife, pop them open. Peel that tough outer skin, and throw them right on the roasting tray. Because we're roasting these at such a low temperature, 250 degrees, it's cool to use Spectrum Organic Extra Virgin Olive Oil, which you normally don't use in roasting, but at a low temperature, it's totally safe, and because it won the American Masters of Taste Award, it's going to add so much flavor to these veggies. Next up, that pint of cherry tomatoes. Just spill them right on the tray. 2 sprigs of rosemary, peel them backwards, sprinkle it, never forget a hefty pinch of salt, and some ground black pepper. Then, like I said, drizzle that Spectrum Organic Extra Virgin Olive Oil, just a few tablespoons. Give it a little toss. And then put this tray into the oven at 250 degrees for at least 2 hours, anywhere up to 3.5. Like I said, low and slow gives those veggies time to consolidate their juices, consolidate the sugars, and then they just burst open in flavor. Now, after a couple of hours, this is what we're looking at. Beautiful gems, the gems of fall. And I'm sorry to tell you this, vegetables, but you're going into a food processor now. Pull out those lemons and just give them a little squeeze right into the food processor. We're not going to use the rind here. Everything else, right on in. I always save the tomatoes for last because they're round and they want to roll everywhere. Get the lid on and pulse that until it's smooth. Now, if you see that it's too chunky, what I'm going to do here, pull out the little top and pour in some more Spectrum Organic Extra Virgin Olive Oil just to get that nice and creamy. That's it. Oh. This dip is perfect. It's a little rustic. You want some chunks in there. And it's so fragrant. It's a fall salsa. We did the slow roasting. Now we're going to do the fast roasting. And now, part 2. That fast roasted cauliflower, guys. The best way to cut cauliflower, turn it upside down, find the root right in the middle, cut around it with your knife. All the way down, and you'll see the florets start to just fall right off. Perfect. Now don't throw this away. The root, if you peel it, has tons of flavor, just like that celery root we roasted earlier. So I'm going to cut this into some strips and roast it away. Just break that cauliflower up into some manageable pieces. We're going to be using this to dip in that dip. When you're roasting at a high heat, you want to remember to use a safe oil. So we're roasting at 450 degrees. and we're going to use Spectrum sunflower oil. Now, if you forget which oil to use at which temperature, look at the labels on the Spectrum oils. They all have a dial telling you which temperature to use them at. Just a few tablespoons, a nice clean flavor on top of this cauliflower. Again, hefty pinch of salt, some fresh ground pepper, and get that into the oven at 450 degrees. When it comes out, golden black, crispy crowns of cauliflower. Way better than chips for dipping. It smells like fall in here. This is enough for a small army. Guys, I hope you learned a little bit about roasting today, high heat versus low heat. From Spectrum, I'm Dan Kohler. Thanks for watching. Happy snacking.